Welcome to the Startup Grind.
Welcome to Startup Grind TV. I'm your host, Keith Washer. We're very excited to have you talk with David Gardner here from Cofounders Capital, who was the keynote opening speaker for the conference today at the Cary Arts Center. David, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
So, David, you talked about the state of technology in North Carolina. It was a great opening keynote. Why don't you share with the audience maybe a top 2 or 3 key takeaways from your presentation today that you would love people to remember, and some of the points you're trying to make?
Sure. Well, I talked about how technology comes in waves, how we had the internet sharing information with other people, to mobile sharing information anywhere, to the Internet of Things sharing information with anything. But my real emphasis of my talk was around data science and artificial intelligence. Finding relationships between that data, I believe, is where the new, most promising businesses are going to come from. Mm-hmm. And the most exciting part of being an entrepreneur today is that technology is moving so fast and disrupting so many industries in so many ways. So I was just going to say, think big. Don't marginally change some existing paradigm, but look for something that's going to be an entire new paradigm. I talked about lots of different industries and how data science is really going to change those industries in the future.
Right. What was really special, one takeaway was, and correct me if I'm wrong, was people and the companies that own the data are going to control the industry. Or those who control the data control the industry. Is there anything else you want to add or around that point, or did I capture it pretty well?
That's pretty much right. I emphasize that IT is no longer a part of the business, it is the business. Mm-hmm. You know, Uber doesn't make cards. I said Airbnb doesn't make hotel rooms. The people who gather and control the industry and the data and understand that data are the ones who are going to control industry. And those are going to be the most promising apps in the new startups in the future.
Yeah, thank you, David. Yeah. And the other thing that you said that was really beautiful today, and I'd love for you to recap for the audience, is you do so much for North Carolina, especially RTP, and helping companies. And we all know that some of the fundraising can be challenging, especially for an early stage startup. What's the key takeaway in your mind about fundraising and helping startups and finding capital here, and where you think there's opportunity or challenges that we need to address?
Well, as I said in my talk, the elephant in the room is just the lack of capital in North Carolina. We consistently rank, at least in the RTP triangle area, as the #1 or #2 best place to start a technology company outside of Silicon Valley. But we typically rank 37th or worse in available funding. So there's this huge dichotomy between available funding for early stage companies and the actual smart, coachable, tenacious entrepreneurs that live here and the great ideas that they're having. So I was just saying, be great. You know, we spend a lot of money to encourage companies to move back into North Carolina so we can get their tax base. Why don't we take a little bit of that and just encourage some of these early stage companies to stay here to start with and look at that as a means of economic development.
I love it, David. And when I heard you say that today, I thought, we got to get this guy to run for mayor, run for governor, run for president. Anyways, maybe one day. I know.
One day, maybe.
So, David, how can they learn more about you and your companies, or what are the best ways to look at it?
I started 7 companies here in North Carolina and exited them, and then my wife told me I can't ever start another company. So what I do is I volunteer my time coaching entrepreneurs. I run a free startup clinic here with the town of Cary. It's free for entrepreneurs to come in, work on their businesses, use the resources that we have. I also have a small venture capital fund called Cofounders Capital, and we invest in some of those B2B IT software ideas.
And that's cofounderscapital.com?
It is.
All right, wonderful. Well, there you have it. David was phenomenal, and I hope you go check us out at the next tech conference, which we'll love to have David come back. Thank you for watching. To learn more about this interview and others, go to startupgrind.com/triangle. David, in the honor we do this.
Thank you, sir. All right.